Alright, guys, let me be honest with you. For a little bit there, for a moment, I was worried. I thought I was going to have some issues with her. But in the end, I'm pretty sure everything worked out. So, where I was having issues and what I thought were issues, you can't really see now. And quite possibly in the back here, where we have this metal connector that kind of goes between the lining on her jacket. But, it looks alright. It's lined up okay. No, what I had issue with was the initial connection with the two pieces that make up her train here that is being carried by the quite elegant servitor skull in the back here. Uh, it wasn't the cleanest connection. Yeah, I tried to smooth things out a bit. And there were some ugly gaps, actually, where her waist piece, this kind of corset looking piece here, connects to the bottom half. Now, the legs were actually a separate part that gets glued on. They will have a little key on the back of the leg there. That worked out okay. I'm not 100% sure if I've got this piece of armor, waist plating, thigh plating, whatever you want to call it, in the best spot, but I think it'll be okay. It doesn't really detract too much from anything. So inside of all this jacket, dress, all that, there's some really unsightly seams, but I'll be honest, you really can't see them. And I mean, yeah, there's some stuff there that needs to be cleaned up here and there, and you can see I didn't do the best job of removing the flash in these tiny little indentations between the spots on the blade, but we can get to that. I'm not 100% sure if I actually attached those skulls on correctly, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I mean, you can see how close we've got it, where you can see just the little odd gaps here and there, and again, I need to clean up on the spear just as much of the sword, that little pipe in between there on the bottom under my finger. Head didn't really have any issues. Same thing with the fur lining her arms slash coat collar. I wasn't 100% sure if everything is attached correctly, but it works out okay, and I think overall, it's not going to have too many issues. The blades do want to lean forward a lot. So you'll notice, thankfully, she can kind of lean back on the back of her bustle or whatever those were called. But once she's mounted on the base, she's facing the right direction. I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. And I mean, she really does take up that 40mm base there, doesn't she? So I'm kind of pleased about that. Grabbing a couple other 40mm base guys from Forge World. We've got Ajax and what's his name? Gorshiv. So you can see here, I mean, she cut some pretty formidable company on the tabletop. Definitely has as much presence as our two ex-Goliath members here, but I think that's more just due to the bulk of her outfit. Grabbing a couple of the filth from below the underhive here, just to give you guys an idea of how things scale. I mean, she is about in line with a regular human, if you want to call the Dilax a regular human. Of course, the poor-looking Cawdor here, completely outclassed. Ash Waste Nomad. Honestly, I was picturing like an honor guard of, guys like the Bulldogs from War Games Atlantic. Here, I gotta cull the peasants, lest they harass the upper classes. I don't know. I think this is really a really fun model, and I think, since there's no distinct, I mean, outside of a few skulls here and there, there's no super distinct, I'm a 40K model, I mean, other than the skulls. That I think you could totally get away with using her as any sort of, sci-fi monarch, noble person, high-ranking leader, some kind of priestess, adventurer, rogue trader. I mean, what have you. Spyrer. There's a lot, I think, that can be done with this model. I mean, I keep thinking about getting one of these. Were they the... This is an Old Dominion model. It's one of their priests. But I keep thinking, if you just replaced those hands, he would look great with the 40k stuff. Give him a bunch of data cables or something. Some big guns. A priestly servitor. You got yourself the makings of an inquisitorial warband already, just with these 3 random models all bunched up together. How does she compare to a typical... Okay. Like I said, a bit taller. Almost as tall as the Lord of the Eightfold Path. Hanging out with some other upperclassmen. This is a Kingdom Death barrister, I believe she was. I used to have the noblewoman. There was an actual Kingdom Death noblewoman, and I broke her. That was not fun. Those were unhappy times. But honestly, I see a lot of potential for this model, even more so. I mean, sure, guys like Ajax, you know, they're just big bruiser types. You can always find a place for them in a lot of games. But something like Our Lady here, I think, is going to be a much more evocative of a high-class, powerful, elite type model. And, you know, whether she's being used as some kind of, you know, target marker, some kind of achievement goal, some kind of NPC. I think there's a lot of uses for a model like this. I'm quite pleased with how she turned out too. So do check back. We will get her painted. I do tend to be pretty quick with the turnaround on these Forge World models. Some just take longer than others, but rest assured, I am 100% finished with every Forge World kit that I've built. So we will see her probably on a Monday video, so do stick around for that. Anyway, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.